Any rings that I see that I believe are underpriced for the chance of me getting the blue iridium grains and refining them once I've got enough to make into iridium plating and building up my supplies on that. I was doing the same with the zircon plating, so with the purple rings. I searched for cheap purple rings that people were dumping for like 100 gold, and the grains are worth more than that, quite a bit more than that, and I picked them up and deconstruct them and then refine the grains into plating. A couple of Nern Crux that I've farmed, so that's just a Craglawn farm, quite easy to do. Highlight in the Witch Knights area is 40k for a sharpened bow. Looks like it'll be for a PvP setup, killing werewolves and sniping guys. It's a lot of weapon damage and increasing your weapon damage when you're poisoning somebody. Nice little pickup there. I just got that from the dailies, but you can get that from any of the world bosses and chests in Markarth. We get to my first flips. It's 380k per one. So these two here make up nearly 800k of my 1.4 million sales. They're huge. So we'll go through that in a little bit more detail soon. And look at these Inferno Staff of Elfbanes. What have I done here? How have I made money off that? So I'll have a quick look at purchases over here. Now I bought 3 at 200, 270 and 300k. Now what I've done with those ones is I've made them gold straight away. That costs 32.8k, around that, for paying 4.1k per rosin, which is about market price at the moment. Once I've made them gold, I then relist them for just below the lowest gold staff price. Now what happens there is people want to buy the gold one. They don't want to search for the materials, they don't want to switch to their crafter, they just want to spend the money and get the item. So if we look at the powered staff, I paid 300k for that and we sold it for 380k. Now if we take into account the 32k that I've spent on materials, the 8% that you lose from the tax and the listing fee, I still come out on top by 17.6k. Now that doesn't sound like much, but it's very little effort and very little time. This was also the one I made the least amount of money on. If you price it right, that will sell very fast, and this can be done with quite a few different staffs, so it's not just restricted to Elfbane. You can do it with Mother's Sorrow, you can do it with Swamp Raider bows, a whole bunch of different items. Now obviously there's an investment in this, so that increases the risk. I tend to space out when I do this, mostly to make sure the market's not flooded. Again, I stress that this is a risky play, but can make quick profit for doing very little. The next thing's a little hint on how to farm Mother's Sorrow gear so that you can resell it and chase down that Inferno staff. When I jump on and I have nothing planned, I always open up TTC and I jump straight to Deshaan maps and see if there's any up in the last couple of hours that are below the price I think is worth it. I generally look for below 1k and I buy them all that I see and I go search the treasure maps. You only need to have one Inferno staff to pay for around 200 of these maps, so it only has to be a 1 in 200 chance for it to be worthwhile.